A long while ago, I've experienced a seriously profound mystical experience. That experience was so deeply profound, was so intense, that I even resolved to not try and process it right after it happened, and to rather just give it some time before going back to it and try to make sense of what has happened, of what I've seen. However, that experience left me with a deep sense of relief, with a deep sense of fulfillment, unlike anything else, with deep sense of clarity that completely transformed my life in the following months after it. It was essentially an answer to all of the questions that have been pestering me at the time. It has clarified everything for me in a twisted way. And even up to this point, I continue to learn from it. Although it's been already 4 or 5 years, whenever I'm going through an experience in my current reality, I find myself reminded of that experience and I go like, okay, oh, that's what it was trying to tell me. That's what it meant. It just seems to have given me so many dots to connect that I'll continue going back to it time after time, forever. And that did not really happen overnight. That experience was not the result of just an overnight build-up. The build-up to that experience, the build-up leading to that experience, was another very long story that happened over about 5 years. Another 5 years. And eventually leading me to that experience. So I won't really go into the details because that's a really very long story. But the months following that experience, I was able to completely transform my life, my external reality. Now, it started because that gave me a complete mindset transformation. It completely transformed my perspective and my mentality. And it gave me that deep sense of relief, as if I've figured it out. I know, I understand now. And that came after a long journey of suffering and struggling and seeking and pursuit. So it was completely mind-blowing, and that led me to completely transform my reality over the following couple of months. Now, obviously, I won't be going into everything that was revealed to me, that was shown to me during that experience, but essentially, it was an astral projection, through an astral projection, an out-of-body experience. And it happened in the most random way, although it was already on my mind for some time before that, and I've tried to do it a couple of times for different reasons. But that time it just happened, and it was like I was swept off my feet and I was uncontrollably taken to what seemed like a PowerPoint slides going before me, but it was more like pages of a really lucid book that kept shifting right before me, and I kept, I'm not gonna go into that right now. So obviously I won't really be going into everything that happened during that experience. But one of the main takes, now I've revisited that experience a few months after it happened, and I've started breaking it down, trying to understand it, trying to make sense out of it. And one of my main takes is that which I felt compelled to actually share now due to the uncertainty going on, is that your life is exactly what it's meant to be. That your journey, your life journey, is exactly tailored to your own needs. And it's meant to take you to the calling that have been put in your head. It's not a coincidence. It's not something that you've awakened to just out of the blue, or after you've watched that couple motivational videos, or after you've read that book. It was always meant to be there. You were always meant to awaken to that dream reality, to that grand intention you always have in the back of your mind, in the back of your head. And so, it's not a coincidence, and it's not impossible. It's not just something that you should be questioning or doubting. You are actually meant to experience that dream vision you have for your life, for your future. Because you have chosen this very specific life journey ever since you were born. You have carefully chosen that journey out of infinite possibilities and combinations that you could have chosen from. You have chosen this very specific life for a very good reason. And you are supposed to experience that trigger in your mind, because essentially that dream reality, that grand intention, that purpose or meaning you've been pursuing is a stimulant to lead you to experience the journey up to it. And so what that means is that you are meant to experience that end vision, given that you accept your journey completely, that you surrender to the journey you've been living through, that you live out your truest self and stop trying to live out different versions, to stop trying living out acting as someone, trying to be someone that you're not, trying to change who you are and your callings fundamentally. Rather, you must live through them and surrender to whatever your journey is offering to you. This dream reality is the best way that you could have been triggered to take on that journey which you're currently going through. And that journey you're supposed to take to learn the lessons from it. Essentially, you're being shed from low frequency emotions. You're being shed from low frequencies in general. That is competition, that is survival, that is resentment, jealousy, envy, excessive lust, so on and so forth. Judgment, hatred, whatever. You're essentially being shed of things that are in control of you, of things that can control you, and to become a whole sovereign being within yourself. That's what's meant for you from your journey. Now, some people, or if I may say, most people, might awaken to that reality, to that dream reality, to their grand intention, yet spend the rest of their lives in resistance to the journey. And then they have to repeat it the next lifetime. They don't really see that dream reality, although they've been pursuing it for 40, 50, 60 years. They might not get to see it because they have always been in resistance and rejection to their journey. Whenever they were meant to give up control, they held so tightly on control. Whenever they were meant to trust, they held so tightly on distrust and trying to manipulate everything to fit their own trust system or distrust system, even better. Whenever they were meant to let go of attachment, they got so attached, so on and so forth. Now, the problem is not with feeling specific things, because you are meant to feel them. However, the thing with it is that you are meant to feel it and release it. And I speak about that a lot. If you're obsessed with control, if you're obsessed with fear, if you're obsessed with distrust, with attachment, with manipulation, with expecting the worst out of your reality, with perfectionism, with maintaining a specific image, with trying to hide behind a facade, that all needs to come down. You can feel it all, but it has to at some point come down, and your journey is leading you to do that. The experiences you're facing, the things you call a struggle or that of suffering or pain, feels like that because it's shedding you of those things, and the ego grew attached to all of that construct that you have created, that was created for you, that was programmed into you, and then your experiences only kept confirming that back at you because you kept projecting what's inside you, and then it made it more of a confirmation in your reality. It made it an absolute, and now you're so lost that you cannot find yourself, your true self again. And your journey is leading you to your true self, if you allow it to. So yes, you are going to experience your dream reality. Yes, you are going to have that end goal. But essentially, ultimately, it's just a stimulant to cause you to persist, to cause you to commit, to cause you to take on that journey and pursue it and stay on it and commit to it. And so, if you more often than not resolved to heavily indulging in coping mechanisms, to heavily avoiding your journey by one way or another, mostly it comes in the shape of coping mechanisms. Our dearest coping mechanism, and anything could be a coping mechanism. If you're heavily indulging in avoiding your current reality, your journey, which was the whole point of you awakening to this calling, then you would only be prolonging the outcome that you seek, that you have awakened to. What you are envisioning for your future is simply snippets of your future, simply things that you could be living through, that you're about to live through. If you simply live your life and not try to manipulate each and everything through it, if you simply let yourself get to the bottom, feel all of yourself dissolving, your ego dissolving, because your ego will hurt so bad through this experience. But if you let it be and you simply keep yourself feeling through it and feel it, you don't really have to do anything. You don't have to figure out much. That calling and your external journey, your inner guidance, is more than enough to guide you. And you know it. You know what's true for yourself. You know what resonates with you. You know what aligns with your grand intention. You know what feels bad. Because once you've awakened to that grand intention, everything you do or don't do would feel good or bad depending on whether it's aligned with that grand intention or not. So that's your inner compass. You have your inner guidance. That's the best system you should apply. And as long as you have that, you're only supposed to follow up with it. You're just, all that you need to do is not to figure out much, or to try and do things your own way. It's simply to feel it and let it be. To get to the depth of your emotions, see how long are you going to feel, see how you feel like, and just keep on going. Don't try to resist it, don't try to reject them, don't try to cope with them, don't try to avoid them, because if you're avoiding them, you're only prolonging your journey, and you're gonna have to repeat the cycle 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. And after each cycle of feeling, you're gonna find that you are feeling so good, so fulfilled, because you have let go, you have released some of your blockages, and you're now a step closer. If you maintain that, you don't try to force external emotions, fake emotions, inorganic emotions, by indulging in heavily in external coping mechanisms. You don't try to force any experience, you don't try to force any emotion. Whatever you're meant to feel, it's being felt if you just let yourself sit idle. You know the best way? You know what I would imagine, hypothetically, the best way to get there the fastest is to simply sit in meditation for days on end, if that's what it takes. For hours maybe on end. I don't know how long it's gonna take. I have not tried it. But if you just let yourself be, you stop trying to be someone, you stop trying to enforce some things, you stop trying to figure out things, you stop trying to experience specific things, you just let yourself be. It will happen just by you sitting in your place. So it's about that. It's not about you manipulating your way there. It's about you trusting your way there, and trusting that anything is possible. Because that's the beginning of it, is that you have to know that it's possible, that you can make it, that it's trusting. It's trusting in your ability to make it happen, trusting in your life, in yourself, believing in the path that you have carefully carved out for yourself. Believing in that is the most important thing. And so remember, my dear ones, my dear friends, you can make anything happen for a good reason. In my last video, I spoke about this. I told you that anything is possible. Just like millions before you made it happen, you could also make it happen. Just simply follow very simple couple of steps, and you're getting there. And you're closer to that point day by day. So never lose hope. Never stop trusting in yourself, and never stop believing in the journey you've carved out for yourself. Thank you so much for tuning in to another video by AF's Conscious Frequency. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, because it helps me so much, and it helps this video find its way to many more others who might actually need it. Until next time.